Hello, Juge fam. What's up? What's happening? What's good? I hope you are feeling great and doing well on this Wednesday noon. And if not, you know, the YPG fam is always here for you to take good care of you. And today, sharing with you another lesson, which we believe if you apply, this will lead you to become a better part, a better version of yourself. And this is what the Something Extra is about. I mean, the YPG has a lot to offer, and the Something Extra is that extra for each and every one of you who say, I want to be a better version of myself. I want to be more of myself. And this is why we share with you guys all these important lessons, all these crucial lessons for your life, for you to find and become a better version of yourself. These past couple of weeks, I believe the topics have been quite intriguing and quite, confrontational maybe to a certain extent. And I'd love to hear from you guys which one has been intriguing, which one has really been one that has been a life lesson for you. Has it helped you in any way? Has it helped you improve in any way? And I'd love also for you to take this link and share it with someone. Make sure that somebody watches this. Make sure that somebody also has a chance to become a better version of themselves, whether they're YPG fam or not. Well, if they want to learn, well, the lessons are for everyone. And these are based on personal experiences from us, whether our mentors, our coordinators, and the different lessons from everyone. In case you don't know, lessons, we learn them from each and every person each and every day. Good and bad, by the way. Good and bad, by the way. But today we want to talk a little bit about hoarding. I don't know if you've heard about hoarding. Hoarding is usually someone who will store a huge amount of things. I'm sure you've seen or maybe driven or walked past someone's garage, and you will see so much going on in that garage. You don't know, your eyes don't know where to look. Your eyes are all over the place. You have no clue where to start looking at because you see just so much going on. You just see a lot is happening in that place. And in some cases, a person might just have a lot of things and they store those many things. They will need them, whether it's a collection of things which they store, or maybe it has, I don't know, maybe a sentimental value, a reason why they like to keep that. Others, they store it because maybe they plan on using it in the future. They're not using it at that moment, but they are going to use it in future. Or they don't use those items or those objects at that moment as frequent, but eventually they will need it. So, I mean, that's normal. But hoarding has to do when somebody stores an excessive amount of things, of items, whether a repetition of things, and most especially items in which they know that they don't need, but they just can't get rid of. And perhaps you are a victim of hoarding. PJ, you telling me that I'm hoarding? My room is not hoarded by stuff. I'm not hoarding in my room. Maybe not physically, but emotionally, mentally, and in other ways. But before we get into that, I want to speak about the physical aspect of hoarding and how crazy it actually is. I think we spoke about this a couple of months ago. If not mistaken, it was in the Bible Clock where we spoke about hoarding. And I was thinking it's always worth going back and, refreshing our brains and our minds about the things which sometimes we do not notice that we are hoarding in our lives. The things which we sometimes don't notice that we are storing and keeping, which are damaging our minds and our emotions. But most especially our mind. But as I said, before we get to that aspect, I want to speak about the hoarding, how it actually works. As you can see right now, check out these pictures. Look what's actually happening on these pictures and how can you live in a place like that? That is disgusting. That is simply, it's really bad. So an excessive accumulation of things which are unnecessary. The hoarding disorder is also a difficulty in discarding, an extreme difficulty in getting rid or parting with possessions, regardless of their value. Distress or impairment, significant distress or problems functioning due to hoarding, health hazard and strained relationships. Indecision and procrastination, a chronic indecision about what to keep or where to put things, leading to clutter. I don't know about you, but I'm someone who can't work with clutter. I can't work in an area where it's not minimalistic. That's me, of course. I mean, each person is different. I'm not saying that's the correct way of being. Some people, they have things organized their own ways. I personally am minimalist. I like things very clean. I like not to have a lot of things. There are a couple of cables running here for this recording, but I can't wait to finish so that I can actually get rid of all of the stuff here because it's annoying me. But this is for the moment, and I mean, it's going to be out of, back in its place. But what happens when things are completely out of place and the person is comfortable with that? And now, there are people who might not be necessarily hoarding on a physical aspect. You might not be hoarding physically. Your room or bedroom or kitchen, I hope, does not look like the pictures we just showed to you guys. But one thing it might be is that emotionally, that's how you are. You are maintaining things which you shouldn't be holding on to. You are storing things in your mind or in your heart, in your feelings, and you entertain, you harbor those feelings. You harbor what's been going on in your life, and you harbor those things, and you are just destroying yourself. So maybe on the outside, you might be looking fine. On the outside, I mean, probably those homes which we saw on the outside, they might look normal. But what is actually going on behind closed doors, inside those homes, and maybe that's how you've been feeling. The kind of person who looks okay on the outside, but broken on the inside. And unfortunately, we are in a time, in an age, we are in a generation in which we take more care of our outside. We're more cautious with how we look on the outside than how we are actually going on and facing and feeling and what we're going through on the inside. Maybe that is you. Maybe that's exactly what's been going on. Maybe as I'm speaking, you know that there's so many things that are hoarding. And you say, PJ, what is it that I could be hoarding internally? I'll give you a couple examples. Maybe you're hoarding a moment of failure in your life where you just believe you're a failure. You failed once, maybe more than once, and you tell yourself, I am a failure. And you've been keeping that trash. You've been keeping that garbage inside of you, and this is why you don't progress. Maybe someone said to you something, and ever since those words were uttered, you told yourself, that's my reality. Someone said to you, you're ugly, and ever since you told yourself, I am ugly. Someone said you're useless, and that's exactly what you've kept inside of you. Perhaps someone said to you, you're a waste of time. Listen, you're never going to succeed in life. And maybe that's exactly how you have been behaving. You've been hoarding all those words, hoarding all of those negativities inside of you, and not looking forward towards what you can become, what you can achieve. And the worst about hoarding is that the person will leave one thing, then leave another, then leave another, and leave another, and before you know it, it's that whole mess, that clutter, that mess which is there, is not something which just began or came all at once. No one called the trash truck and or the litter truck, whatever you call it. No one called them to throw that stuff there. Nobody took the trash can and just threw that stuff over there. That accumulated with time. That was something where the person left one thing, left another, left another, left another. Kind of like when you leave the dishes, when you have a little bit of dish to wash, and then instead of washing it, you let it accumulate and accumulate and accumulate. And before you know it, there's so much going on when you realize there's a pile of plates and cups and things for you to wash. That, remember, did not begin because, out of the blues. That began the moment you just were reckless and you said, just one more plate, just one more plate, just one more plate. And in our lives, we can do that with our emotions, with our thoughts, with our feelings, with the negativity which people give to us. That's how you need to see it. Just as those pictures of those homes, just as these pictures, that's exactly what happens inside of us. When we permit our past to have that kind of impact in our lives. When we permit, I'm talking about our past in the negative sense. Maybe it was what somebody did to you. Maybe it is a grudge you're holding on to. I think we've said this several times, but it's never going to be enough. A grudge. Somebody hurt you. Somebody did something, somebody said something which was painful. And you allow those things to hoard you. Now I ask you, would you, if you had to visit that person in that home, you you wash, you go get a shower, you're all clean, you wear the most, fancy cologne or perfume you have, you smell good, you dress well, you put your zhuzh on. Would you go to that person's house? Obviously not. Neither would I. I would not want to. I would stay by the door, maybe by the yard, maybe across the street, and talk to that person from there. I wouldn't want to enter that home. But I mean, why not? Because you're clean. Because you don't want to, it's unpleasant to be there. And that's where positivity comes in. The positivity will never be able to enter until you get rid of the negativity, which is that hoarding right there. What are you hoarding? What are the feelings or the thoughts you've been hoarding that's been holding you back? What are the thoughts and the feelings that you've been holding on to that has been destroying you inside out? What are the things that you've been doing that might be the cause of the internal hoarding in your mind? It's breaking you. I repeat, it could be a past experience, a failure. You failed before and you keep thinking that you are a failure. Listen, just because you failed doesn't make you a failure. It just gives you another opportunity to try again. It's just another try again in life. And you might have to try again a couple more times before you get it right. But that doesn't mean you need to quit. That doesn't mean you need to stop. That doesn't mean you can't do it. Keep going. Keep going. Do what you got to do for you to achieve what you've got to achieve. What is it that you've been holding on to? What have you been hoarding? And I'm going to say more. Excuse me. You might be holding on to or hoarding people who are causing that inside of your life. People who are so negative themselves, obviously because they're negative, not that they're evil, they're mean, but they're just so negative. They just have nothing good inside of them to share with you. The only thing they have to share with you is their hoardings as well, their own negativity. So they walk into your life, make believe the house is your life. They walk into our lives and they leave that kind of trash in there. They literally just throw it. They just dump it there. And where do we find ourselves? Worse than we were before. Hurt, broken down, and completely destroyed. Maybe that's exactly how you've been feeling. Maybe that's exactly what people have been doing to you. It's time for you to change your circle of friends. It's time for you to rid yourself of those people. Not because, how do I put this? Not because you hate the person, not because you're going to be someone who's going to treat them ill, but because you realize that you have a greater value. Maybe you are someone who's stuck in a relationship with someone who that person is just hoarding. They use you, they abuse you, they hurt you. Maybe you're such a beautiful young lady, but you're giving your beauty away to a guy who's doing that kind of stuff to you. He walks in, he tosses his trash inside of your life and walks out. So maybe, like I said, on the outside, you look beautiful, you look stunning. But on the inside, that's exactly how you feel. You feel like a sewage pipe. Excuse my expression, but that's how you feel. That's how it might be inside of you. But the point here is not to say to you what you are, how you've been. But the point here is to say to you that that can change. That you can turn the tables. There is this short video I want to show of this lady who actually goes to the houses of hoarders. And she actually cleans them up. Just short videos, you guys will check it out as I'm speaking, you guys will see. And that happens inside of us too, when we take the decision. When we take the decision to actually change. Of course, this lady goes there, but if the person doesn't decide to quit hoarding, all of that hoarding will go back. But in our cases, when we decide that, because no one can invade our home. Nobody just comes into our homes and cleans it without our permission. So obviously she came in because the person gave permission for her to actually go inside and de-hoard that house. And you have also the power and the permission, or the power of permission for that, to give permission for that as well. Until when will you be hoarding the negativity? Until when will you be hoarding your failures? Take those failures and learn from them. Just move forward. Take that negativity and create the stairway for you to move up to the top of where you need and should be in life. I've said this before and I say it again. Many of you are supposed to be far in life. Many of you are supposed to be, in a place that you don't even imagine that you could be. Many of you. But maybe you're not there because the hoarding is carrying on and you don't want to free yourself from your past. PJ, I've failed too many times. PJ, I've tried and I've been trying and I'm still failing. Keep going. Don't allow the failure to be a hoarding. Actually, use it as a file for you to go back and learn the lessons. Where did I fail? Why did I fail? How did I fail? So that you can learn to do it better the following time. Never give up on yourself and never stop dreaming. Never stop fighting. Never stop being yourself. Never stop going for what you want, but do stop hoarding. Stop holding on to the things that are destroying you inside out. You have a potential. You have something amazing inside of you, but it depends on you and only on you for you to be able to take this out. Now, when you look at a home, as you were seeing right now, that's pleasant to be inside. That is something, that brings us the pleasure of being inside of. That is pleasurable, that is pleasant. It has a sense of welcoming, of home feeling. That's what you should pursue to have inside of you, to be within yourself. It's much more than having all of this on the outside. It's much more than appearing to be good. As I said, many will invest on how they are on the outside, but they forget to invest what's actually going on the inside. And this is where the YPG fam comes in. Because maybe you were struggling to set yourself free from all of the hoarding that's been going on. We want to say to you that we want to help you. Allow the YPG fam to help you. Those of you who are in your respective branches, look for your coordinator. Look for your mentor at the end of the something extra. Look for someone and ask for help. Because we oftentimes have this thing like, I don't want to talk about it. I don't want people to know my problems. Well, whether people are going to know your problem or not, would you rather have people know your problem and deal with the problem or continue in the problem? That's my question. And when you say people, it's one person whom you're going to share that situation with, who's going to help you. And if he or she can't, they're going to get somebody who's even more experienced, who's got a better help or sense to help you to overcome what you were facing on the inside. You were not born to suffer. You were not born to be a trash can like we saw in those homes. You were born to be pleasant. You were born to be happy. You were born to be the best in everything you do. So I repeat, if you need help, the YPG fam is here. And I want to say to you who you might be watching us right now, whether for the first time, and you're wondering, who are you to tell me this? You don't know what I'm going through. PJ, it's very easy for you to tell me to set myself free from the past, but you don't know what I'm going through. That's so true. It's easier said than done, but it's also not impossible. And who I am? I'm someone who's also been there. I'm someone who's also hoarded in my life. Not in a house, not in a home. My parents would finish me. I wouldn't be here if I had to do that. But I'm saying I was hoarding inside of me. I was hoarding the complexes of inferiority, thinking that everybody else was better than me. I was hoarding the lack of self-esteem, the lack of confidence. So I'd be a loudmouth to appear tough, to appear strong, to appear awesome, to appear on top of my game, where in actual fact, I was so broken, I was so destroyed inside out. Many wouldn't see it on the out, rather. They couldn't see it on the outward, but on the inside, I knew how much help I needed. So today, my work, my duty is to stand here and say, I made it. Or better said, I'm making it. I'm no longer hoarding, but I've also got things to overcome inside of me. And I want you to make it too. So come and join the YPG fam. Commit yourself. Be part of one of our amazing projects which assist in helping. And by the way, we're starting an amazing program with all the secretaries. Those of you who would like to learn to be more organized, putting things in order. We're going to talk more about that in the next coming lives. So come and join us. Be a part of something that will make you to become a better person, that will make you to become a better you. If you didn't watch last week's Bible Club, we were speaking about 3 things that you can engage in. It was more about the software updates, which we mentioned, and I'm sure that will be helpful for you. whether you've been even struggling with depression, you've been struggling with mental health issues, anxiety. By the way, many who are struggling with hoarding are also linked to being depressed and suffering with anxiety. Yeah, that's how crazy it is. Many, they're struggling with anxiety, and obviously hoarding is a way of expressing what they're going, whether it was a PTSD, the loss of a loved one, and so forth, and they find themselves in that situation. Maybe you're not hoarding physically, as I said, but you're hoarding internally. Let the YPG help. You've knocked on many doors, you've gone to many places. Let the YPG fam help you. All right? This coming Saturday, we're going to be back with the Vibe O'Clock. We're going to have another special episode of the Vibe O'Clock, and I would like you to be our guest along with the Juge fam. Those of you who are in your respective branches watching us, talk about it. You want to share, continue, make that ring of that circle of chairs there and talk about it. Talk about other forms of hoarding and reach out to those who need help. And once again, take this link, take this video, share it. Give someone a chance and an opportunity to find a better version of themselves. Like I said, we don't say anything here based on what we want to force people to know, but we say it also based on our own personal experiences and experiences of our amazing YPG fam throughout South Africa. All right, that's it from us. You guys take care of yourselves and keep the Juge going on. Keep the Juge going on. But remember that the time is now, and it is time for you, for me, for us to take off. I'm out of here.